Hi, my name is Carey Elsbernd, and this is my PowerPoint for Inclusive Leadership for the Diverse Classroom, AEP 855. My article summary was based on the article that was titled Educational Diversity and Learning Leadership, a Proposition, Some Principles, and a Model of Inclusive Leadership. Basically the overall idea that was behind this article is that it wanted to cover how educational diversity embraces differences, working with the strengths and talents of others, and providing support for learning leadership endeavors. The same article also mentioned that educational diversity it covers differences that are all part of educational settings, and that there is a need for change, that educators must find new ways to address diversity in the workplace with education. It also enables positive changes and differences in the lives of those who are difficult to teach. It provides access to learning for all people, especially the most vulnerable in the learning community. For example, students with learning, behavioral, physical, or social disabilities. Inclusive leadership, it is known to connect the management of diversity and differences within classroom settings. 3 action principles of leadership, according to the article, are the integrative principle, relational principle, and functional principle. The integrative principle discusses how knowledge acquisition and management, they all play a role into basically getting started on developing inclusive leadership in your organization. The relational principle is based on ways and means of leading depending on people and purpose. So depending on who it is that is in your organization, what their individual strengths and weaknesses are, is basically the strategies that you would use to incorporate inclusive leadership into your organization. And third, there's the functional principle based on consistent and continuous learning, adaptation, and application of knowledge. And this would be like the final step in developing this type of leadership. It highlights too that inclusive leadership is a means of distributing resources and activities among diverse groups that are designed to promote equal learning in all individuals. This can also be, you can take into consideration that a teacher leading his or her students, or this could be an administrator leading his or her teachers and employees and the people that work under that leader. All of these can apply to all of these areas in an educational setting. The summaries for this article are that the world is getting smaller and it's creating a higher need to personalize education among a more diverse population, and that the goal of inclusive leadership is to manage this diversity and the respect of all members. Inclusive leaders can help with transformational change for an increasingly diverse population, and they must be able to lead those with the tools and resources needed to make this concept a successful reality. The second article that I found is titled Effective Leadership Makes Schools Truly Inclusive. And this article, in a nutshell, describes what effective and inclusive schools are doing right. There's a case study that states that there are 3 must-haves for optimal performance of an inclusive educational environment. First, that shared core values and dedication to the development of a successful inclusive school as promoted by administration. Second, that effective progress monitoring systems must be in place to ensure inclusive educational environments. And third, that professional development must be designed to improve student learning through quality education. The article also mentions that administration and staff must have a shared vision of the successful implementation of an inclusive school. They must agree on the overall outcome and for all of the goals and objectives in order to make this concept a reality. The development of a trusting and understanding relationship between administrators and staff increases teacher commitment to such shared vision and core values. If there's not a strong relationship and a strong trust between administrators and the teachers that work under them, it will be very difficult to be able to achieve a successful school setting, even if it's not an inclusive setting. And to obtain a successful inclusive school setting, it would be very difficult if the element of trust between the administrators and the teachers, if that is not there. Let's see, the shared vision is important since individuals may not be equipped to handle the needs of an inclusive program. It is different from anything that we've been used to in the past. And the commitment to shared vision can lead to transformational change. Teachers and administrators must incorporate effective school-wide data analysis systems when making decisions designed to promote successful inclusion. When looking at student data, teachers and administrators should collaborate on student learning goals by 1. Aligning curriculum to state standards. 2. Finding tools and resources to fill in learning gaps. 3. Monitor student progress at scheduled intervals throughout the school year. 4. Differentiate student learning based on pacing and depth of instruction while still providing an inclusive education to all. Next, teachers and administrators should know their community by looking at data from parent perspectives, perceptions, demographics, and all available programs designed to meet the needs of all levels of learners. The role of an inclusive leader is this. It's to develop a trusting relationship, exhibit care in a meaningful way, and engage staff in all decision making. Improving outcomes is important, and school-based data systems can be designed to help make informed decisions regarding what is best for everyone involved. Teachers and administration should work together on accountability systems, ways to hold other teachers and colleagues accountable for what they do, but in a nurturing and understanding manner. This same article also discusses professional development and its impact on designing an inclusive school. It states that 70% of general educations do not feel prepared to address the needs of all students in an inclusive classroom, that schools must be prepared to offer individualized teacher learning opportunities, and collaborative support teams can help guide professional development. This is how leaders in my area have successfully applied inclusive leadership or can apply it. We use Kagan cooperative learning structures and strategies. And this is based on the idea and principles that teamwork through team builders really helps to design an inclusive classroom where students can learn at their own individual pace, and they can also learn based on their comfort level and skill set. Kagan structures are used by classroom teachers to facilitate successful student-led learning in a cooperative group setting. Administrators in our district, they also use Kagan to achieve the same outcome with the staff during staff meetings, in-service meetings, professional learning communities, and other settings where teachers are together. When teachers are in the classroom and working with students, the Kagan strategy emphasizes that there is a heterogeneous seating assignment that is designed to engage every student through positive interdependence, individual accountability, equal participation, and simultaneous interaction. These characteristics include 1, 4 students to a group. 2, each table must have a student who achieves at a high pace, middle high, middle low, and also students who achieve more at a lower pacing. High achievers should never sit beside or across from low achievers, especially when students work with face-to-face partners or shoulder partners. All students also play a role and remain actively engaged in their own learning in a very safe and positive manner. Students will facilitate their own learning by problem solving in a group setting where everyone is accountable for the group's success. And these team builders, they help enhance the social skills and character education and academic achievement through these cooperative learning structures. How leaders in my area also successfully apply inclusive leadership through Kagan cooperative structures is through class builders. Not only do Kagan structures with the students, again, administrators also use these to engage and unify staff members at in-service meetings and other professional learning communities. These strategies and structures, in my opinion, they imply inclusive leadership by enhancing social skills, character education, and academic improvement through whole group class builders. And these characteristics include that everyone participates, everyone is responsible and accountable for everyone's learning, that everyone treats everyone else with kindness, and they share and they compliment and they thank one another at the end of the task or activity that they are working on, and that everyone is intended to work with all of his or her peers throughout the activity. And these structures can either be academic or non-academic. Here are some challenges that can be faced by inclusive leaders. If there is a disagreement on some of these ideas that tend to be paramount to inclusive leadership, leaders and those they lead are at risk of losing credibility in their endeavors. As stated in the Leadership Challenge, trust and relationships must be strong in order for employees to resolve such disagreements in a positive and efficient manner. If the trust and the strong bonds of relationship are not there, it will be very difficult to be able to overcome such issues. Leaders may also struggle to get their subordinates motivated and to try something unfamiliar or move in a new direction. Change tends to make people uncomfortable. Therefore, they may try to avoid it at all costs. What do inclusive leaders do when subordinates do not reach an overall consensus on such core values that are imperative to the foundation of inclusive leadership? Is there a line? And if so, where do you draw it? For example, if not everyone is in agreement on the amount of time that a student receiving special education services needs pulled out of the least restrictive environment or classroom, how is that situation to be handled? And are there ever situations where including students receiving special education services displaying extreme behavioral problems should be pulled from the regular classroom? If not, what resources and assistance can be provided to ensure the safety and learning of all students in the room? These are just some problems that some teachers and administrators may face when trying to instill inclusive leadership into their organization. Thank you.